Hello, this is Old Timey Birdcage, or Sarah. I'm here on YouTube as Old Timey Birdcage, and I'm on Instagram as Old Timey Birdcage and Blue Sky if you want to try to find me there and follow me as well. I'm trying to get better at posting there. I just wanted to get you my fortnightly week update about my stitching. So this is mostly about Flosstube and floss things and cross stitch, but I also talk about knitting and other crafts as well if I'm in the mood. But so to go over the past couple weeks, I did a lot of work in the garden. I set up a new garden bed, not a very large one. It's one of those pre-packaged ones that like slide together. It's made of cedar wood and it's got some the metal pins that you stamp into the ground to help it stay in place. It's about 3 foot by 3 foot. I got it at Menards. So, and it was about $40, I want to say. So it was affordable. And I was able to fill it with 3 1.5 cubic foot bags of soil. It was actually kind of hard to find the soil I wanted because I don't want soil with peat in it. Both because when it gets dried out, it tends to get hydrophobic and is hard to rehydrate, and peat is also not sustainable. So I had to source soil that did not have that in it. For my raised beds, our ground soil, ground dirt is very clay heavy. It doesn't drain very well. So I think raised beds are probably going to be the best thing for us until that can improve. So I wanted to get something that was good for raised beds and did not contain peat. Unfortunately, websites, when you look at Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, those kind of places, the soil ingredients are not listed when you look at soil prices, like bags of soil. And I couldn't find it at local garden centers either. They didn't have too much variety. They're pretty small places, so they don't have like a huge selection. But those all contain peat. So the only place I found near me was the Ace Hardware store, and they had I think it was Miracle Grow raised bed soil or organic, and it's peat free. So I found that, and it was about $10 a bag, I think, when I got it. So $30 to fill the bed, so not too bad. Again, like I knew it was going to be more expensive, but I'm really dedicated to getting away from using peat in the garden. So I have also for the garden requested a chip drop. If you don't know what that is, it is a service that, depending on your area, they can basically list you on a list, and an arborist, if they need to dump chips or logs somewhere, instead of having to pay to have them disposed, they can drop them off where you live. Again, like I have to deliver in your area or work in your area, and you can donate a fee to help it along. I signed up about a week ago. I haven't gotten it yet. So, and I hear about 1 to 2 weeks is kind of average to wait, or it could take months if there's not many trees or arborists working in my area to cut down trees or trim limbs or anything like that. So we'll keep an eye out, see if that comes in. I got a wheelbarrow. We got plenty of shovels. I got a rake so we can even out the chips. What we want to try to do is basically have a grassless lawn. So we want to try to cover as much as we can with the chips that isn't like a raised bed or a place where we're dedicating planting. I also, so back to stitching, I did kind of FFO or final finish the Baba Yaga by Witchy Stitcher project that I have. This is on 14 count Aida, just white Aida, and the DMC. So last time I had bought the foam boards on sale and the pins. So this is what I put together. So this is on the foam board and pinned in place. I should probably do more lacing back here, but this is just my first attempt really, so I just wanted to see how it would go. Again, this is like a early project from when I first got back into cross stitching, so it's on like white Aida. The back isn't as clean and neat, so you can kind of see the tails behind some of the stitches, but I think it looks much nicer this way than when it wasn't on a foam board. It is also a weird size just because of like how much of a edge I had to work with, and like what size I thought would frame it best. So I think I'm going to lean into kind of the witchy aesthetic and maybe use some like sort of twigs or sticks or something and like put them on as like a frame, and then we can hang it on the wall or set it up somewhere. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I really want to try framing more things on my own and using the foam board more. It was a little difficult to cut, but I think if I get like the proper tools, like an X-Acto knife or something, it'd be much easier than when I was trying to use like crafting scissors. So for updates on my whips, I have, so this is my Dimensions kit. This is Magic in Motion. I'm using the kit materials that were provided. So the Aida, black Aida and floss are all part of the kit. And here it is so far. Yeah, so it's starting to come along again, like just kind of focusing on the robe and getting all that filled out. And then I can work my way up to like, this is where the wizard's head's gonna be. And then we can do the decorative like half stitches and then get in with like French knots and the tassel and everything. It's a vintage kit I got on eBay. So you can just search like Magic in Motion on eBay, I think, and it should come up. I think it's from like 1995, 1996, or here, let me see. Here's the cover page. Yeah, so this is from 1995. Magic in Motion, designed by Lane Gordon. And there is the original design. So yeah, so we're getting a lot of this part of the robe and the book, and then trying to get this. I'm doing the gold stars last because they have that metallic thread, but otherwise we're getting pretty far along. I don't use any counting apps or anything like that. I'm just reading off the paper chart, so I don't have like a percentage for you. But I think it's pretty, like, it's getting closer to done. So I've been trying to focus on it some more and try to get that done and ready to go, either frame it, or I don't know if I want to, someone suggested I turn it into like a tote bag. So definitely want to think about that. My next work is an Irish Blessing. So here's the pattern. This is by Tiny Modernist. There's the title, An Irish Blessing. And we're working on this for a while. I have gotten up to the top. So right now, so I've been kind of working my way around. It's like starting here and then working my way up. So I'm going over to here. So I'm getting more into where like the little house is. So I'm pretty close to done. So I just have like the little house area that's pretty filled in, and then some more leaves over here. So it's getting a little more easier to track because it's not just like blobs of green. Oh, I will also have back stitch afterwards. It does require back stitch. And then it'll be done. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, the sizing, it should fit in an 8x10 frame. So I've been keeping an eye out at thrift stores for one that I like, maybe in a nice color. I mean, I could paint one, or maybe see what I can find. But yeah, I would like something that complements the colors. So like a green or like a greenish blue, I think would look nice. Okay, and the next thing so this is a start from last time. So this is the kit for the Mill Hill beading kit or Holiday Express. So this is a little winter train. So my progress at this point is here. So right now, I have done all the stitching that is not beading or like final touches that I would do after I put the beading in. Like it'd be easier for me. Like there's a little bit of, there's a few stitches here. You can see them at the cow catcher on the train that are kind of like straight stitch. So I'm gonna save that to the end. So now I'm on the beading. So the issue I ran into was that it gives you in the kit a needle, like a regular cross stitch needle, and a beading needle. So the beading needle is much thinner. So it's for the seed beads. I didn't bring the beads in with me, but they're the very small seed beads. And I tried to thread the needle and I just couldn't do it without like a needle threader. So I ordered one online. I also, on 123 Stitch, I also ordered a beading needle that has like the very wide eye. Like if you know what I'm talking about, I'll show it once I get it. But it's the needle is almost all eye, like it's one giant slot. So you can put the thread through and it's much easier to thread. Sorry, excuse me. So I ordered that. So I'm hoping that'll help because I just could not get the floss through. They even recommended like even getting one strand through and doubling it up if you couldn't get two through, but I couldn't even get the one through. I did have like a really cheap sewing kit that with a needle threader, but that just kind of broke when I tried to put it through the needle's eye. So the needle threader I ordered on 123 Stitch, I made sure said it was like small enough or thin enough to fit in like a beading needle. So that's what I want to do next with that. Here is, I didn't really look up how people deal with the threads, but what I did was I took little bits of index cards and cut them up into kind of bobbins and put the symbols on them and the color name and number. So that's what I have for thread organization. They give you plenty of thread, so I didn't have to worry. I did mess up on one part and had to do it over, but it was pretty easy to do. This is my first time using perforated paper. It's not too bad. It does take some getting used to, and you're obviously stitching in hand. But since it's not fabric, you're not like, doing the sewing method or anything. But I think if you're used to like an Aida, like a stiff Aida, I think it's similar to that. Oh, I also, just to keep the beads from rolling everywhere, I wanted like a bead mat. Or bead tray or something. I went to Michael's and their beading supplies, and like they had like supplies that were just basically like, this is just a piece of felt, but they've packaged it up and are charging you $4 or $5 for it. And I just went to the regular craft felt and got the 69-cent a sheet white craft felt, and I'm just gonna use that. Again, like the other felt might be better, but I didn't want to invest too much if I'm not going to bead a ton. I also wasn't sure about the sticky mat just because I'm worried about it getting like dirty or anything like that. So again, maybe I'll try that some other time, but for right now, I just want to try the basic felt and see how that goes. Okay, on for knitting. So I still have the socks I was working on last time, but I'm further along. So these are some Shorty socks. They're the Shorty Sock Set by Summer Lee is the pattern. And here is my progress so far. So I've got the stitches. So I've got the ruffle at the top, and this is the band. Then I've got the heel flap, turn, and I'm starting on the gusset. So I'm starting the decreases. So if you're looking at it like this, here is the top of the leg, here's the back of the heel, and then the foot's going to come out through here if you've never made socks before. I like to work on the 10-inch circulars. They're just easier for me. When I get to the toes, I'll break out like either double pointed needles or longer circular needles to do the magic loop method. But for me, this is just like pretty intuitive. I don't have to like do like a switch around or like fiddle with a bunch of really thin double pointed needles. I have a tendency to lose one. So this one keeps it all nice and neat, and you can use it for like almost the entire project again, except for like the grafting the toes, when you get down to decreasing for the toe. And the yarn I'm using is from Laughing Cat, is the dyer. This color is called Ophelia. The little label had like the John Waterhouse painting of Ophelia from Hamlet on it, so that's what the colors are inspired by. I'm using a size 1 US needle in the 10-inch circular. I am terrible at memorizing what the millimeters are for that, and it's kind of rubbed off on my needle, so I apologize. I'm not sure. I think these are Knitter's Pride. I got them like a few years ago. So yeah, so that's my progress on my sock so far. So still in the first sock. Getting to kind of like the more, I think the hardest part I think about socks would be the gusset, if you're doing a heel flap and gusset, just because it takes so long to decrease down. But once you decrease down, it's kind of smooth sailing through the foot, and then you can decrease for the toe. Okay, so that's that so far. So again, like I didn't have as much time to work on things, so I was mostly focused on the garden, or I wasn't feeling too well last week, so I was kind of resting. But for watching and reading, we've been rewatching Andor Season 1. When I'm recording this, it's May the 4th, so we might be watching that more tonight. I wanted to rewatch it before Season 2 because I can't remember like a lot of the details from it, and I just wanted to be back up to date before I started watching Season 2. It's really good if you don't like the fancy, Jedi stuff, if you want something more like grounded, more down to earth, so to say, for Star Wars. I really recommend it. Or if you just like spy stories or, prison escapes, heists, those kinds of things, that it'd be more your speed. I'm still listening to Jolene by Mercedes Lackey. I had one book that I checked out from the library that I did not finish. It's not really the book's fault, so I don't want to come off like the book is bad. It's just not what I was looking for. So the book was What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez, and it was billed as kind of like the Mummy adventure story, with like kind of like a murder mystery involved, and like it's just heavily leaning into, at least the part of the book I was listening to, the first part was heavily leaning into like, oh, she's a young woman off on her own in the Egypt. The character is from I believe Buenos Aires, but she runs into an Englishman who works for her uncle, and oh, he's such a bad boy. Oh, he's so mysterious, and yeah, it's very like, I don't know. I'm too old for this. I don't have the patience for a young adult romance story with a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old who don't know what they're doing. So I just was not enjoying it as much. So I just returned it. It had a wait list, so people were waiting for it. So, and Libby likes to kind of poke at you and let you know that other people are waiting if you have a book that is on somebody's wait list. So I decided to just return it and move on. I've also been watching people do Let's Plays of Blueprints. So that is a puzzle game. That is, so you inherit a mansion from your great uncle, and you have to find, in order to like get the mansion. Like, you have to, instead of just spending a night in a haunted mansion, you have to find the secret room that no one else has been able to find, or that they've been keeping secret from everybody. And how the house works is you go to a door, and it's not a set room. It's, you get 3 choices, and you choose what room you want it to be. And depending on what rooms you select, it opens up other rooms or leads to other directions. So you're basically trying to like map your own house so you can try to find the secret room. So you're looking for clues, you're looking for puzzles to solve. There's like puzzles within puzzles. It's like really fascinating to watch how other people think and how other people process through it. I don't have like the necessary either system or computer or anything that can handle it. So I've just been enjoying watching other people play it. And to be honest, like, video games are something I am interested in, but usually my you know, top level of gaming is like Pokemon or Animal Crossing. Cozy games, like, I don't want to do like super complicated games, like maybe puzzle games. So I was interested in trying the blueprints, but again, like, we have like an older system, and I didn't want to invest in it if it wasn't going to work on the computer and everything like that. So I've just been enjoying watching other people play. It's really fascinating to watch how other people solve puzzles. So a few of my favorite people to watch are Jesse Cox. He's a YouTuber that I've been watching for years. Same with Dex Bonus. They are also someone I've been watching for years, so they have some VODs on their channel. YouTube is my preferred medium to watch those. I don't really get on Twitch as much. I just don't like the interactivity with the user like interface. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Future plans, it is Mirabilia May. So what I have been considering is starting my first Mirabilia, or Nora Corbett. I did order the Nora Corbett little forest mushroom people. So I'm gonna at least look at the pattern, see if I feel like doing that, and go forward with it. Mirabilia's like, and Nora Corbett's just kind of intimidate me, just because the fancy ladies and the, you know, all the fancy floss and everything. But I have a friend who has just recently gotten to cross stitch. Like, her goal is to like finish her grandmother's old projects that she left unfinished when she passed away. And she just kind of dove straight into a Mirabilia. It's one of the smaller ones, but still, it's like a Mirabilia project. And so that kind of inspired me to, like, you know, like, it's okay. It's just X's. It's all gonna be okay. So I figured I'd try it and take a look at it and see if I want to do that for this month. Because I do like those little forest mushroom ladies. Those are my favorite, I think, of the Nora Corbetts. I have some other Mirabilias that I like. I don't like all of the like fairies and mermaids and things. I like the one I really like is At the Met. She's kind of like a 1920s flapper style, and what I really want to do is either get that find a recharting so that it's like, again, like, sorry, I'm trying to formulate your thoughts, but something that bothers me about the Mirabilias is they're not very diverse. But I was looking into, I want to research how people do skin conversions on Mirabilia and how people like rechart them. Because what I like at the Met, what I really want it to be is like Phryne Fisher from the Phryne Fisher Murder Mysteries, because she's got that like black bob haircut. I was also thinking about doing like a skin conversion and making her kind of like a 1920s Harlem Renaissance kind of person, kind of character in my imagination. So yeah, I want to keep that open. I want to really research that. I know there's like maybe Facebook groups and stuff you can join with Mirabilia and skin conversion and all that stuff, but I definitely want to learn more about that. Okay, well, thanks for visiting with me. I'm so glad you're here. Again, you can find me on Instagram under Old Timey Birdcage and Blue Sky. So if you want to follow me or say hello, again, feel free to leave a comment and Let me know what you're stitching on, or what you're looking forward to in spring, or if it's maybe fall where you are, what you're looking forward to if you're gardening or if you're not. But thank you for coming to see me, and have a good day. Bye.